What you're seeing on your screen right now are the artists that XXL freshly picked for this year's freshman class. And honestly, I think ChatGPT could make a better list if it tried. No, honestly. I don't know jack about these new artists. I don't know if I'm getting old or if XXL is getting more and more irrelevant, but I had to do genuine research for each artist here to find out what exactly their whole gimmick is. So now, with that being said, allow for me to share my thoughts on all 11 freshmen that are featured on the cover. Starting with Skilla baby. For those who don't know who the fuck he is, he's a rapper from Detroit. Because you gotta have some Detroit representation somewhere on the list. And let me be the first, or many, of people to say that I don't care about his music. He's not that interesting of an artist to warrant this type of XXL placement. In my opinion, it should have went to V's instead. Next up is Four Plants. Four Plants is known for his smooth and airy R&B sound that he has managed to bring over to his debut project You Made Me a Star. The music he makes is fine, but I'm wondering how he was able to get co-signs from both Drake and Kanye West even though he put out 3 songs. Because that's insane. I mean, he definitely deserves to be on here. But listen to Brent Faiyaz instead if you wanna hear this exact style being done, because that's what he sounds like. Next up is Cobain. His music is boring as sin. I genuinely hated Ungrippy because Jermaine's part, on his end, was very goofy. But outside of that, it's boring. There's nothing you can get from this man's music because the second you listen to it, you forget about it in the next few minutes. This movement isn't meant to last. Just retire the Jersey Club shit because nobody wants to hear it anymore. Next up is Bankz. And my god. She might be the worst female rapper I have ever heard. And that is without exaggeration, by the way. She has the most hypersexualized and raunchy bars of all time. In a bad way that makes you wanna puke though. This is the whole reason why X and double standards need to stop. Because if you keep judging men in this world and continue being so goddamn picky, you're gonna fucking die alone because nobody fucking loves you for how judgmental you truly are. She genuinely makes me sick. Molly Santana should have gotten the placement instead, because what the actual fuck is this?
What the fuck is that?
Well, it's time to talk about an XXL freshman I actually care about, because next up is Amiri. He blew up from that One Call song that went viral on TikTok a few months back. And honestly, the whole album is very good. He's genuinely one of the more talented rappers this new generation has to offer. And I have faith in seeing what he does next. Next up is Maiya the Don. Her music can actually be pretty good and she's known to get vulnerable in a lot of her stuff. She's honestly one of the only female rappers on here I can see having a successful career. Next up is ScarLip. ScarLip was in the soundtrack for the most recent Bad Boys movie. And because her song Mike T for the soundtrack went so hard, I decided to check out the rest of her music. And it just wasn't hitting like that one song was. She's okay. I definitely get her appeal though. Next up is BigXthaPlug. Now I like Big X. He's actually one of the more vibrant personalities on this entire list who knows how to have fun. And he can make some really good songs actually. You also need some Texas representation on the list as well, so I respect this pick, even though there's 2 other artists from Texas as well on this list. Can't mention Big X without talking about that Mexican OT next. In 2023, he had that viral hit named Johnny Dang with Paul Wall and Drody on it. And honestly, I liked it. I thought it was a very fun song. To summarize the rest of his music, he goes for a Houston trap-inspired sound with the signatures from the genre's past being incorporated into the songs he makes, along with an added Mexican heritage which gives it a chance to stand out. And while he isn't the most consistent, I can respect the grind he puts into doing this shit. And he deserves this placement. Definitely. Next up is Hunxho. Hunxho is from Atlanta and is known for doing a smoother R&B approach with his music. And I know people genuinely think he's good, but he's okay. The melodic shit is not really my cup of tea, but it might be to the rest of you. And last but not least we have Bossman Dlow. Saving the most forgettable for last, are we? Okay, look. I have an issue with Bossman Dlow's music. It's not that it's bad or anything. It's just that he sounds the same on every goddamn song he makes. Like, listen to his whole discography right now and try to tell me otherwise, cause you can't. He has the same flow, same cadence, same everything. And it's like, goddamn. Switch it up. Like, this is the exact issue I had with Da Baby. And now we have another Da Baby situation where he's doing the same thing. My god. I get that we need Florida representation as well, but you could have picked a way better artist to represent that state. And no, not Brennan Jones. He's worse than him actually. So that was the XXL Freshman Class. Pretty forgettable outside of a few artists. But I'm not complaining too much because it is what it is. See, nowadays XXL picks gimmicky artists over artists that will actually last. And that is why we keep seeing trends in the list. You see, back then, XXL actually picked artists that they think would succeed. But the exact problem is that they feel like they need to cater to a certain audience nowadays. And I blame social media for that. Honestly, I don't blame you if you don't care enough to tune into this year's XXL class, because many people don't. But I gotta talk about it because it gets this channel views. So yeah. Next video's coming soon. Stay tuned.